A huge market sell-off today, and the national left-wing media's mendacious mediocrities who cover politics or business and economics ignored the unpleasant real causes of the sell-off and instead quickly embraced the conveniently anti-Trump narrative, peddling more nonsense about fears of a trade war that would result from the president's imposition of tariffs on imported steel and aluminum that's been dumped in the United States below cost for years. You know, the tariffs that the president has promised since he began running for the presidency in 2015. The know-nothings of the national left-wing media are incapable of understanding that the United States has been the designated global victim of global trade wars for decades. Again, were it not for President Trump, we would remain the perpetual victim, transferring our wealth to the world as we've done for decades, and our squandering of American riches would go on until the last bite was ripped from our carcass. So what were markets and investors reacting to? Certainly the Fed's poorly reasoned decision to raise interest rates weighed on the markets. Where is the inflation? Why act now? And why, when the result is to raise the cost of debt at even the Fed itself, not a brilliant stroke by the new Fed chair, nor was it in any way a responsible act. But look to Capitol Hill for the principal cause of the day's big sell-off. The House passing that massive $1.3 trillion spending bill. Rhinos Ryan and McConnell giving House members a whole 17 hours to read the 2,000-page bill. None did, I'm sure. Ryan and McConnell huddled with two Dem leaders by the name of Schumer and Pelosi. And the Dem duo didn't hesitate to claim victory, because victory it was over the majority GOP leaders.
In a certain sense, we're able to accomplish more in the minority than we were when we had the presidency or even were in the majority.
Well, I think one of the reasons they rushed it through, they didn't want their Republican colleagues to see just exactly what was in the bill.
That's as close to truth as I've ever heard either Schumer or Pelosi speak. How about you? The Republican leaders didn't want the American people to realize they were funding sanctuary cities, Planned Parenthood, including infrastructure funding that could be used for Schumer's Gateway Tunnel in the Northeast Corridor. And instead of giving President Trump his wall, replacing existing border fencing, and in so doing blew up fiscal policy to the tune of $1.3 trillion. The budget will add an estimated $1.7 trillion to the federal debt over the next decade. And we'll see trillion-dollar deficits every year going forward. Every single year. McConnell and Ryan have joined the resistance and the deep state. And the Republicans have only Ryan and McConnell to blame. And of course, themselves. Our quotation of the evening. We thought Tennessee Williams ought to be trotted out for this evening. We have to distrust each other. It is only our only defense against betrayal.